Prop Chat, ultimate insights of trading with Sabio.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to Prop Chat, the podcast where we dive deep into the minds of prop traders. Today we have an exciting guest, someone who turned his passion into a full-time career and now helps others do exactly the same. He's 23, he's an entrepreneur, private trader, and public speaker. His trading journey began as a teenager, and now he's a profitable full-time trader. He's passionate about mindset, psychology, and motivation, sharing his insights through social media, live streams, and public speaking engagements. So let's give a warm welcome to William Davies. Hello, sir. Welcome to the show. Thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Great. So let's start with, some fun little game. Today I'm playing Shrink. I suggest you take a little trading psychology test. So I'll describe a few hypothetical trading scenarios and you tell me, based on trading psychology, what the ideal trader should do in each case. You ready?
Sounds good.
All right, let's roll. So scenario number 1. You've just hit 3 consecutive losses. What you gonna do?
Depends on the time frame. If I'm doing it within one day, there's a very good chance that I will actually stop my trade and I'll press pause until the very next day. If I'm taking 3 losses in a day, there's another day tomorrow. I'm not going to go over trading. If it's in the course of a week or so, it depends on my strategy. I will potentially press pause and then do a little bit of testing.
All right. Scenario number 2. Your trade is up 20%, but your plan says to let it run. So do you hold or do you take profit?
If I'm edging my bets towards taking a profit, if I want to take a profit, I may consider taking partials. However, if it's in my plan to continue this trade and let it run, that is what I'm going to do.
All right, good. So scenario number 3, you see a huge market move and you feel tempted to jump in without proper analysis. What's next?
It's tempting to jump in. However, what I would personally do is it is part of my rules to completely follow my my strategy. And if it's not part of my strategy, I will not take the trade. However, if there's a massive market move and I really want to get in, I really want to itch that scratch, then I will potentially look at opening up a demo account, place it on a demo account, or maybe forward testing that trade.
All right. Another one. You enter a trade that immediately goes in your favor. Do you adjust your stop loss or you just let it play out?
It depends how in my favor it's gone. If it's gone in my favor and it's broken certain structure points and it's shown me that if it does pull back and hit my break-even level or my entry level, it invalidates my trade, then yes, I will move my stop to break even or maybe even up into profit. However, my stop is there for a reason. I'm going to let it be and leave it there.
Fair enough. Scenario number 5. You're feeling completely burned out. From trading and losing all your motivation. So what you gonna do?
It happens, and it's happened to me a few times. What I would personally do with that is I would shut my computer down. I would take a break, take a little bit of time, and walk away and go out and enjoy some fresh air. Right now, I'm sitting with my main lights turned off, my ring light turned on, and my blinds closed. That's not natural for us human beings. We want to be out in nature. Get yourself out, get yourself in the fresh air, and take a bit of time out.
All right. Another fantasy. Let's say you've just had your best trading month ever. What's next?
Well, try not to spend it all, I suppose. Honestly, though, what I would try my hardest to do is on the weekend, give yourself the biggest pat on the back. Go out for a meal with your friends or family, whatever that looks like. You've got to pay yourself. You got to enjoy the life you're living. You're doing it for a reason. So, I'm not going to be all boring about it. Definitely enjoy your weekend. Have a bit of a celebration. But as soon as Monday opens, as soon as the market's open, it's straight back to the work.
And the final one. Scenario number 7. So a friend of yours convinces you to try a strategy that isn't actually part of your plan. How do you respond?
Ooh, that's a tricky one. What I would personally do is, look, at the end of the day, we've got to be open-minded as traders. There's a very good chance that he may have a
Mm-hmm.
better strategy than you, a more refined and a more optimal strategy. It is our duty to be open-minded. Definitely potentially look at testing it. If he's got data backing it up and he has got results, then definitely look and consider implementing something like that. But make sure you're going to do your own testing. Do not trade someone else's strategy blindly, and do not go straight into trading it live on your account. Stick to your strategy, stick to what you know, but definitely consider his strategy as something that is possible, and definitely go look at testing it.
Great, thank you. Thank you for this short scenario thing. Let's continue with our main thing, with our main interview. So you're only 23, right? And already a
Yeah.
great success. So could you please tell me what exactly happened in your teenage years that made you start your career so early?
Yeah, it was an interesting one, to be fair. I didn't have quite the normal childhood
Uh-huh.
upbringing. I was brought up with a family business. I was brought up with around very business-minded people. My
Mm-hmm.
dad is a very business-minded person. My mum's very supportive of that. So I was brought up very knowing of business. And then I started working on a job. I started working jobs. I was working in a five-star restaurant, Michelin restaurant,
Mm-hmm.
really, really nice place. And then my brother went on a rugby tour, and I wanted to go with him to Ireland. I wanted to go support my brother
Mm-hmm.
as he plays rugby. So I thought I'd book the time off. And turns out I got to Ireland, I had a phone call, and I'd actually missed work. So
Mm-hmm.
I did actually end up losing my job for that. And it happened a couple of other times with other establishments as well. I started realizing to myself, you know what, I'm sick of this. I don't want to
Mm-hmm.
be booking time off work. I actually want to open my own business. I want to do something for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I was very young. I was still early teens, maybe mid-teens. I was like 14, 15 at the time. Started doing marketing. I was big into social media. I really wanted to do something with marketing.
Mm-hmm.
So I tried opening up my own marketing agency as well as a clothing brand. The clothing brand didn't go so well, the marketing agency nor that, because people apparently didn't want to trust their business with a young teenager,
Mm-hmm.
which I can't say I blame them, but that just motivated me even more to try out a business model that I didn't need to rely on a customer. I didn't really need to rely on sales. It was just me and myself and I. And the harder I work, the more I earn. And that's where I found trading.
Speaking of your family, what was
Mm.
the initial reaction of your parents when you just started trading? Did they try to, I don't know, ground you for that?
Oh, they certainly weren't impressed.
Uh-huh.
Let's just put it that way. Yeah. My dad was an accountant, so
Mm-hmm.
he used to dabble with stocks and shares. He was a stocks and shares trader at one point years ago,
Mm-hmm.
so he had a little bit more idea on what I was doing. However, though, technology is significantly greater
Mm-hmm.
than it was back in his day when he was doing stocks and shares. He'd never heard of trading view. Let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
So no, it was certainly a world that they'd never heard of, and they were even now. I'm a very profitable, successful trader, traveling all over the UK speaking. They still don't understand it fully. So truth be told, I think I really needed to work hard and prove to them that this was a business and it was something that has a future. And even to this day, I still feel like I'm trying to prove to them. But they certainly weren't impressed. They thought it was like almost degenerate gambling.
Hey, don't listen to your friends. Listen to pros. At the Sabio Academy, we offer courses featuring efficient strategies recommended by pro tutors with years of experience. Our courses cover everything from risk management to trading psychology. Think of it as your pre-funded training camp. Choose courses to your liking. Take them at your own pace. Talk to our mentors and stress less. Speaking of your very first steps along your trading journey, do you actually remember your very first trade?
Maybe not my very first
Mm-hmm.
trade, but I definitely remember my first trading asset, which was XAU USD. So
Mm-hmm.
that it was gold. And I do remember my first ever account. I remember sitting in my bedroom on a nice wooden desk,
Mm-hmm.
trading on a £400 personal account. It didn't take me long to blow it either.
Okay, but how did you cope with the fear of the unknown back then when you were just starting out? I mean, what was your biggest heart attack moment in trading, and
Yeah.
how did you handle it?
So The fear of the unknown wasn't something that bothered me. Like I'm very risk aware. I'm obviously grown up with a family business and grown up around business people. I'm aware that there's always a risk to business, so that didn't bother me too much. I was aware what I was getting myself into. However, the biggest heart attack moment for me was when I blew my first £400 personal account. That was that moment where really felt it in here. It was that sort of that gut wrenching feel like, oh no, what have I done? Like I've just blown an account. I've wasted all this money. What I tried to do then was talk myself through risk to reward, talk myself through everything that I could be doing better and how I could refine myself personally and financially. And not only that, I didn't want to put too much money into an account that if I blew it, I was never going to recover from it. So £400, I knew that I could make that back relatively quickly, so I could put that into another account when I refined it.
All right. Many traders, they just obsess over strategy, but you, my friend, emphasize mindset. So
Absolutely.
why do you believe that psychology is the true edge in trading? I mean, what made you take this path instead of just being, I don't know, another technical trader?
You can have all the technicals in the world, but what goes on up here will really limit you or help skyrocket your progress. So I found learning, and this was a few years ago. This came relatively recently to me. So I've been trading 7 years, I'm pretty sure, this year, and full-time 3 years. And it only came to me probably about 3-4 years ago. I started realizing that I had a very good strategy, and on demo, it was fantastic. I was doing brilliantly. But I couldn't seem to do it on live account. And I was really questioning on why. It wasn't until I spoke to someone, they started questioning me and started actually helping me ask why and question my self-belief. Turns out it was all psychology. I had limitations on my own beliefs in my own potential. And I started realizing that psychology is really holding you back.
You, sir, are a mentor, right?
Yeah.
So what questions, or I don't know, maybe what problems do your students ask you most often? I mean, how do you answer them when they ask you?
It's a great question. So the most common question that I get is revenge trading and why do they end up revenge trading? And the best way I can answer it is they see a loss that maybe they shouldn't have taken, and then they see another setup, and then they want to double their risk. Instead, have a mechanical plan and maybe a discretionary output. So if you have a mechanical plan, if you hit 3 losses, you know to press pause for the day. If you hit 2 losses, you know what to press pause for the day, depending on what you're risking. However, if you are going to open a trade that you shouldn't have taken, you've got to journal it. It teaches you so much more about you. So if you journal your trade and you journal why you've opened and executed a trade that maybe you shouldn't have, maybe you've over risked, then you can start learning why you shouldn't or how you couldn't, how you could prevent that in the future.
And let's take a look back in the past. At what point did you decide to get into prop trading, and why exactly prop trading? I mean, what were the advantages for you?
So the advantages for prop trading, other than the obvious, we've got a low input, high output. So a small amount of capital can produce you a massive amount of capital. But mainly it was because I was trading on demo account. On a small personal account. I hadn't learned about what prop trading was. I never heard of it. A friend said to me, "Well, you want to try this? This is revolutionary." And I was like, "Oh my God, I can get $100,000 capital for what's currently in my personal account." What I didn't realize, though, is that I actually had rules that I was breaking. I didn't know that I didn't have the rules that I needed to become a profitable trader. Now, prop trading is something that really helped me. And this was back in the days of 30-day passes. So this is like quite a while back in the prop industry. And I was relatively new, and I thought, wow, there's a lot of rules here in prop trading. Turns out these were some of the rules that really helped me become profitable in trading.
So as a master of psychology, do you really see any differences between the psychology of regular trading and the psychology of prop trading? And what are they?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. There's a huge disconnect
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to psychology of personal trading and psychology of prop trading. And that is mainly due to the respect of the account size. Now,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of us will not realize that what we can do on a 100 grand account, $100,000 account, we could do on a $10,000 account or a $1 million account. It's all a percentages game. Now,
Mm-hmm.
we don't realize that. We just see a lot of numbers, a big number in the account, and we think we must respect this account. We must look at this account and treat it with respect and look at this and have risk management. We will then go ahead and look at a $500, maybe $1,000 account, and we'll have a little bit less respect for it because we know that it's easier to make back. So there's a massive disconnect in the respect of accounts.
All right, sir. Could you please give our viewers some advice on choosing a prop firm? What exactly should they pay attention to?
So if I'm being completely honest, you need to make sure that a prop account is actually trying to look after the trader. A lot of there's a very dark industry out there, especially in the prop trading industry. It's got a very bad light. So make sure that you're jumping into bed with a prop firm that actually wants to look after you and that has your best interests as well as their own best interests. This is business at the end of the day. We all want to make money. You need to make sure that you're developing a relationship with a prop firm that actually wants to make money with you and wants you to make money as well. Not only that, make sure payouts are legitimate. Make sure that you potentially know someone who has had a payout with that prop firm, and make sure that you can trust them.
I bet you know the routine. Everyone nowadays is familiar with the basic principles of trading psychology, like avoid greed, like avoid fear, like manage risks, etc. But can you share a couple of lesser known techniques that most traders just never hear of, but you personally find them highly effective?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Like you said, there's a lot of obvious psychological tricks out there.
Mm-hmm.
There's obviously a lot of well-known techniques out there. And one of them being journaling. And this is
Mm-hmm.
my highly effective trick here. And I'm going to tell you why, because we all know to journal. We should all know how to enter our trades on why we've entered, what position, why go long, go short, what assets we're trading. But I'm not talking about that side of journaling. I am talking about you, like journaling yourself. How you're feeling when you open the trade, how you're feeling during the trade. Why did you close the trade? How were you feeling when you closed the trade? And you can even go deeper with that. How did you feel this morning? How did you feel in London session? How did you feel in New York session? Did you sleep well enough? Almost do a dear diary. You grew up knowing all the girls in school would keep a dear diary. You've almost got to do that for your trading.
Yeah.
You've almost got to create a dear diary for yourself. And I know that sounds funny and silly and all that lot. You'd be surprised how effective that is. That is one of my techniques that really helped me understand more about me.
All right, sir. Can I actually ask you, what are some traits that you've discovered about yourself thanks to trading that you actually never noticed before? And what's the most profound life lesson that trading has taught you?
So trading's really taught me to help with my patience. It's really taught me that I didn't realize how little I actually knew about myself. I'm me. I should know the most about me but apparently not. Apparently the markets knew more about me than I did. So it certainly taught me a lot. Turns out I was very revengeful as a person. Maybe that was the immaturity. Maybe that was the youngster in me, being a late sort of teens jumping into trading. I would find that I was always revengeful in the markets. I'd be blowing accounts. I'd be losing trades because I wanted to make the money back that the markets had taken from me. Turns out, I didn't realize that actually what was happening was I couldn't accept loss. Now, it's really helped mature me as a person, not only as a trader. Learning to be patient, learning to actually give that loss and accept that that's happened, and to be able to accept that it may not happen tomorrow.
That was a wise answer, sir. So, how would you personally describe the state of mind of, let's say, an ideal trader?
Oof, I think that's good. I like that question. So it depends on the time frame. Let's do. So there's three main ways of trading, main techniques of trading. So you've got your higher time frame trading, your position, your swing. You've got your intraday trading, then you've got your scalp trading. all of those take a very different technique. Now, you've got your intraday, which is like the sweet spot trading. It's very difficult to become an intraday trader because you've got to have attributes of a swing trader and attributes of a scalper. Now, you've got to be able to understand and find peace in the noise and in the chaos of your trading. And you've also got to be able to be patient and disciplined and have great psychology, very much like a swing trader. Now, a swing trader isn't so much of keeping the finger on the pulse. It's more to a point of you've got to be very patient. You've got to be very calm and very willing to allow the trade to come to you. Whereas on the complete opposite side of the scale, you've got scalping, and that is very much high octane, very quick movements. You've got to be able to think very fast and understand to make very quick decisions.
So, speaking of chaos and patience, what should a trader do when they've already fallen under the power of effect? I mean, cortisol and adrenaline have already been released. What emergency measures can be taken when someone is losing their self-control?
If you can identify it quickly, then close all trades, press pause, maybe not the account down, but close your computer down, go for a walk, get out in some fresh air. Very much like you've been demotivated, like in your past question. Now, however, if you've managed to close out all trades and you're coming back and you're lying in bed one night thinking, I can't control my emotions, there's a very good chance that you need to move up a higher time frame. That is your trading. That is the markets telling you more about yourself. That's why I said, guys, it's great to journal about you. Now, you're actually able to, maybe you're a scalp trader. Maybe you're just getting so lost in the noise. It's too chaotic and it's too quick of a movement and price action for you to actually comprehend. What you could do is move up a time frame into an intraday. If you're scalping on the 1, 3, and 5 minute, move up onto the 5, 15, and 30, maybe onto the 1 hour. Have a time frame that's equally as quick. It moves fast. You're able to get that, that bit of adrenaline. You're able to get that bit of a kick out of the trading, and you're able to get in and out on an intraday. However, it's not giving you the noise that maybe you don't want, and maybe that's causing you the adrenaline. So maybe it gives you that sort of low enough time frame that you can get in and get out, but it also gives you a high enough time frame to teach yourself patience.
All right, sir. And the final question has arrived. Here it is. If you had to give one last speech that would be remembered forever, what would its title be?
Oh, that's a good question. Probably patience, discipline, and psychology. 30 days to be a better you.
That's great. All right, sir. Thank you. Thank you for being here tonight with us. This has been an inspiring conversation. Thanks for sharing your insights and your experiences with us. Thank you and have a good day, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Prop Chat. Ultimate insights of trading with Sabio.
And to you, our viewers, if you found value in this episode, make sure to follow William on social media and check out his live streams. And if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, comment, and share it with someone who might need to hear this. And by the way, it's a great day for trading. Just think about it. See you very soon.